Right. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, now it's very clear.
Now clear? Alhamdulillah.
Yep.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Salatullahi salamuhu ala ashrafil anbiya al mursalin wa ala alihi sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'du. First of all, I thank Prof Mushera for allowing me to meet students of consumer protection law and to share with them some issues designated for me, which is consumer protection in the e-commerce. Perhaps the reason I'm here not simply because I'm involved in some of latest research on electronic commerce and data protection. I mean, the past few years, that has been my area of research and interest. So I come in just to share whatever I have, and especially on this issue that relates to the consumer protection in the electronic commerce. Let me now first present my slide and share my screen, and I need your confirmation if you can see the screen already. How is it?
Yes, we can see, Doctor.
We can see.
Okay, first of all, before I proceed with the slides, I had shared my blog, yeah, to Professor Mushera. Have you guys or have you managed to drop by at this blog and access the slides? Maybe some of you had done it, yeah. But for those who have not, you can visit my blog, which is this, sonnyzulhuda.com. Sorry. It's this one, yeah, tribute. So if you go to this blog and you see the latest one, which is on consumer protection in electronic commerce, I didn't write much here, just few lines, and then I provide the link for you to download my slides here. Okay, let's go back to it now. This is the slide. Okay, I'm also okay if you like to ask questions in the middle of my presentation. You just need to unmute your mic and say something, so I'll be alerted that you'll need to speak. You don't write on the chat box because nobody will read it for you. And Prof Mushera also won't be there until the end, so you just unmute in case you want to ask anything that I mentioned, yeah, throughout the presentation. Okay, here is the outline. What is e-commerce? Why protection consumers in e-commerce? Just as a background, as well as the reality check as where we are and where we're heading to. Then the principles of consumer protection in e-commerce. This is a very important principles have been developed by the international community, as you will see later. And then, of course, the gist of this presentation, we are looking at legal framework in Malaysia. It may not be conclusive because apparently Prof Mushera was alerting me about some laws that are part of your outline, but I notified to her that there are some limitations where I will work of this presentation on. So you just bear with me going through some laws, yeah, that I have prepared, and more notably is the the Electronic Commerce Act 2006, and then there's a Consumer Protection regulations, yeah, 2012, and then Personal Data Protection Act and then issues and challenges out of that, legal framework, and that's it. Okay, definitions. Okay, this is a very textbook approach, but I'm happy to share whatever I have experienced in my research. I have taken some definitions from some documents about electronic commerce. Yeah, I'm not defining for you consumer protection, because you must have gone through it from the very beginning of this course. But since it is focusing on the electronic commerce, actually, without defining it, you actually, all of us have actually lived in this realm, in this environment where electronic commerce is very much central to our life and in our life. Yeah. What more with the implementation of the restricted movement order due to the pandemic, e-transactions, e-commerce become so much inherent part of our life, inherent activities here within our life, day in, day out. So let us, for the sake of the academic exercise and having accuracy of the understanding, see some definitions given by some documents. The first document I refer to is the Electronic Commerce Act 2006, because this is the main legislation when it comes to electronic commerce in Malaysia. Yeah, and then the other document is Black's Law Dictionary. Have you ever seen Black Law Dictionary? It's this big.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this? Yeah, very thick. This is like, yeah, guide. They every day's guide for lawyers, for law students. As a law student, I did not really refer to Black's Law Dictionary. As a law student, like more than 20 years ago, I was using much thinner law dictionary by L.B. Curzon. I think it's still there in the market as well as in the library. But I believe in your level, I think second level, third year, you have to be very used to all these law dictionaries, and always refer to these dictionaries every time you want to start, academic discussions, research, and so on. And then there is this one, OECD, stands for Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. So they came up with a glossary. Sorry for the misspelling. Yeah? Glossary on electronic commerce. So interestingly, in this law called Electronic Commerce Act 2006, yeah, there is no definition of electronic commerce. There is a definition for electronic. Okay, there is a definition for electronic, and there is also a definition for commercial transactions. Yeah, that must be in. Let me just refer to this. Yeah, section. Okay, this is the Bahasa version. Right? Okay. Tafsiran. Yeah, section 5. All these are in section 5. Okay. So interestingly, there is no complete definition of electronic commerce. So what I can share with you is first electronic. And this electronic is very much known, though it might not be too technical for you to understand each and every term which is used. Yeah. It is the technology of utilizing electrical, optical, magnetic, electromagnetic, biometric, photonic, or other similar technology. Somehow, the legislator want to play safe, so they put this other similar technology, right? So this is not really our area to debate as to what amounts to what and which is which, but in reality, it is something to do with your, computing technologies now. Yeah, something related with the computing technologies. Even though in the past the word computing may not necessarily refer to computers, but it can also go to your calculator. Yeah. But today, when we talk about computing technologies, as the technology develops, we know what we refer to. It is the computer system, which is backed by the electronic devices, electronic system, and electronic algorithm, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that is the the definition given. And what about commerce? Since commerce is not there in the Electronic Commerce Act, however, there is one which is the closest: commercial transactions. Yeah, commercial transactions. Well, you can argue commercial transactions are those transactions of commerce. Yeah. So what is it? It is a single or multiple communications of a commercial nature. Yeah, whether contractual or not. Yeah. So the word commercial nature is very important there, and it includes whether it is contractual or not. Why is it so? Because when we say contractual, meaning there is already this binding transaction process. But in fact, electronic commerce covers all the business and commercial activities uh, before, yeah, that even before the transaction takes place, during the transaction, and after transaction. So, for example, you want to buy a mobile phone on 12/12, yeah, which is just passed yesterday or 2 days ago. So before you buy, you visit some websites, you in order to gather some informations, and this information is actually provided by these people who are purportedly selling these goods or services. So even though there is no contractual yet, but this is already part of the commercial services, yeah, commercial transactions. Yeah, unlike in the yeah, if you use the consumer protection terminology, strictly speaking, it may not include, yeah, the previous transaction. It only includes during transaction and after transaction, because after all, the binding relationship is already there, but not before. Yeah, but now when we talk about e-commerce as a whole, it involves many things even before the transaction happens, including, for example, the activity of advertising, as I mentioned to you, advertising, promotion, representations, you know, all this included. Yeah. Um, Also, which includes any methods relating to the supply or exchange of goods or services. This is the additional explanation. Supply or exchange of goods or services, agency, investment, financing, banking, and insurance. Well, I think it should not be, closed definition, yeah, because you never know, there are some types of services which may not be included here, but yet could well be or should well be protected by the ECA. But this is what the Section 5 of Electronic Commerce Act, yeah, provides. Then I take you to this Black's Law Dictionary, where you can get the definition of e-commerce from. Yeah, it is the practice of buying and selling goods and services through online consumer services. Yeah, that is one limb of the meaning. Meaning it's strictly about the transaction, buying, selling, yeah, of goods and services, and yeah, of conducting other business activities. Actually, it is extended to other business activities as long as it uses or it is using an electronic device and the internet. Yeah, electronic device and the internet. So your mobile phones, using your mobile phone, your website, your laptop, your whatever gadgets which is for the of connecting you to the internet, or maybe your wearables. Yeah, these are all can be used in order to execute, yeah, electronic commerce transactions. And then this OECD, yeah, e-transaction is an e-commerce transaction. Okay. Actually, the document on this is called OECD Glossary on Electronic Commerce. So it defines electronic commerce, but then it starts with electronic transaction. It says that an e-commerce transaction is the sale or purchase of goods or services conducted over computer networks, yeah, by methods specifically designed for the purpose of receiving or placing orders. Okay, then the goods or services are ordered by those methods. Yeah, which methods? Yeah, methods designed for this purpose. Yeah, electronic methods. But the payment and the ultimate delivery of the goods or services do not have to be conducted online. Okay. Have you guys tried this panda food, right? Have you? Panda Food.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Grab Food.
Doctor.
Maybe just recently, as recent as today, maybe.
Yeah, just edit it.
Okay. All right. Of course, this is exactly what we are saying. Yeah. You bought the food using your mobile, your gadgets. Yeah. Through the electronic system, using online channel. Yeah. Through electronic system, using online channel, and then paying even online. But yet, yeah, the food is not channeled through your computer, isn't it? The food is channeled physically to you. So is this an e-commerce transaction? Yes, as far as the method of transaction is concerned, yes, it is an e-commerce transaction. Okay. The fact that the delivery of thing is physical, it doesn't matter. So there is it doesn't make it any lesser e-commerce transaction. That's what I'm saying. Or alternatively, you also want to pay. Yes, you get the thing on physically, but you want to pay on delivery, cash on delivery, yeah, COD. Even though it is not electronic, but yet in the beginning, it was already meant to be an electronic process, which is what pressing the order, and then you start actually looking at your options, pressing your order, and then finalizing, maybe either finalizing and choosing and so on. But then the rest of the thing are done physical, not online. This is okay. It doesn't make it any less e-transaction. It is still considered as e-transaction. So as you see, it is quite flexible as long as there is some use of the device as well as the internet and computing technologies in between. And it may involve either before, during, or after the transactions, and it involves any type of a product and service, any type, yeah, either physical product or intangible products or even service. The service can be, for example, yeah, I'm paying you 100 ringgit. Please, can you do for me some architectural design, yeah, or maybe some website, and you do a website for me. So this is an electronic service, an electronic product, yeah. And some people also, now we have what they call as influencers, yeah, influencers. They will upload their content, yeah. Your product, you have a product, you want to market the product, but if you keep on speaking on the product, nobody will listen to you. But if you get somebody, some celebrity to speak or to talk about your product, then you get easily, attention of people. So this is you are hiring someone to speak about it and to endorse your product. So people call it as endorser or influencer, yeah. So this is a new economy business, yeah, in which people make money out of something unprecedented before, but it is still an electronic commerce, because it is concluded through electronic process. So we are done with this definition. And then when you're talking about electronic commerce, then we have to understand the enabling ecosystem, right? It doesn't come just suddenly, you sleep and then you wake up in the next morning and suddenly we have e-commerce. No, it doesn't happen like that. Of course, there is this enabling ecosystem which had gone on from time to time, even from the as early as 80s, 90s, when the computing technology was developed and enabling the worldwide web, global platform to be used on the internet. This is all, the milestones of the technological development. So we must appreciate all this, and you want to know about electronic commerce law, and you have some idea how things came about. Yeah. So I think I will start with the one in blue here, gadget and infrastructure. Yeah, because I mean, naturally I have to start there. With this development of the computing technology, the internet, it becomes so tremendously possible to do, for people to do a lot more things which were not otherwise possible in the past. And now we are talking about mobile technology, mobile internet. That in the past, internet could not be mobile, and you want to connect yourself to the internet. You have to go into specific room. That is where you can connect the internet. The moment you go out, you cannot. You are being disconnected from the internet. And the computer itself was huge. You know, it is not as small as whatever you see now. So the technology really developed. So and it all started with big institutions like state, military. You know, the internet, yeah, was used basically by these people, and then went further to the academic institutions, about then to libraries, and then it start to go to the individuals and business players. And that is when, you know, e-commerce starts to mushroom somewhere after year 1990s, yeah, only after 95, 96, then we hear about the bubble of the dot-coms, yeah, and so on. So these all were the developments of the internet. And then mobile becomes mobile now. Nobody now people, when they say they want to go to internet, they go mobile. And when you ask them further what is the internet, as long as you know this social media you are talking about, this is the internet. So to some people, the Facebook is the internet and internet is Facebook. You know, they never know other parts of the internet. And then comes this because the technology keeps on improved, you know, and they are getting connected and programmable, then they become interconnected. Yeah, so we have what you call as IoT, Internet of Things. This is when all the gadgets, yeah, are able to be interconnected between your computers, your mobile phone, and then your car, yeah, or your house, smart house they call it, and then or whatever electronic devices at home. They are all interrelated. Your glasses can be interrelated, maybe your wristwatch also getting connected. So this is the Internet of Things, yeah, where all becomes interconnected. And because of this, then it makes the transaction all easier. I mean, becoming more and more enabling, yeah, to the electronic commerce. And one of the latest because power or milestone of this is because of the more sophisticated artificial intelligence, due to the mobile learning, machine learnings, is able to do a lot of jobs that were not possibly done by machines before, and only human can do it or could do it in the past. But now, artificial intelligence make it possible of very little and minimum human intervention. So this is really an important enabling ecosystem. Then you have the big data. Okay, I'm going to diagonally to the right up here to the light green. Yes, because of this interconnection between gadgets, not only they are interconnected in terms of connectivity and signals, but also they are exchanging data, right? Data, because this is actually the blood of the whole system. Yeah, without data, actually, it is useless. And without data, all these communications, all these gadgets are useless. Therefore, the data become abundant. Data are being available everywhere in private space as well as in public space. Okay, 24 hours flowing, and then all the communications becoming digitized. So all this data becomes so abundant to the extent that the digital data that we have currently, this past 3 years, surpass, or bypass in terms of amount of the data people or humanity had collected in the past, millennium, for example. So people have been comparing that way. So much data had been collected, and they call it big data. This is just a jargon to actually symbolize how big the data is, and it can be ubiquitous, meaning it can be obtained from everywhere. So this really enables the electronic commerce and transactions. And then digital lifestyle comes after that, trying to catch up. People with this all facilities, they change the way they do their works, the way they do their homework, or the way they do their exam, all change. Yeah, especially because of this, as I said, restricted movements. But yet you want to still be socially connected. You want to remain socially connected, so you people will keep on connecting each other despite the limitations. So now we all are ready to actually maximize this system. Therefore, I myself, if you count on like last year, I was not very familiar. I know about some online shopping, but never really tested it. But maybe once in a year or twice in a year. But this year alone, we had done few shoppings online because there's seemingly no better choice in the past. And I believe all of you are more familiar, you guys, because as I wrote there, you are digital natives, because when you are born, you're already so much adopted into this style. Unlike myself or Professor Mushera, we had to learn, when the moment things kept, changing and so on. So all this really, accumulates and triggers a new force in our society, and becomes a new source of earning, new source of economic power. Now we start to see the new way of people's doing or making money, emerging big players like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and so on, and emerging payment alternatives, cryptocurrencies, digital money, e-wallet. So all this push, to forcefully push us to um, look into and to make the full use of this internet for electronic commerce activities. Whether you like it or not, then we start doing it in a more in a massive way. Okay, so this is all amounting to the e-commerce enabling ecosystem. And highlighting to you, for example, the big data that we currently have, what happens in 1 minute in the internet, for example. You allow 1 minute pass in the internet, and you actually allow huge data actually being flowing on social media, on blogs, on search engines, because when you open a Google, right, Google search engine, and you start typing things that you want to search, this is a data on its own. That's why Google has a very powerful database of what people are searching at certain location, certain time. You want to know, for example, what people in Malaysia are searching on a particular day or on certain week. So these data are all there, and I must say it's very powerful data gathered by these players. And also not to forget this data on social media, because everything you do now, you upload and update on your social media. So this really creates a huge amount of data. Next, now you see I give you so much of data and statistics here. Basically, the message is very clear here that Malaysia is there. Malaysia is not absent in these digital revolutions. Malaysia is very active, and Malaysians, especially Malaysians and youth, are very, very active. You can look at each of these, every single statistics here, showing you how powerful the digital lifestyle is changing the people. And of course, it will change the budget, the budget of the state. The state budget will have to adopt to these things and to push more, creativity in this economy and so on. However, there is still some concerns based on what World Bank was saying in 2018. Still, we see that there is a slow performance of online business in Malaysia. Amazingly, we realize that there is still something or room for improvements. And this World Bank report was saying, among others, that some Malaysian e-business players somehow lagging behind their competitors in this region. Why is that? So we can see it in the next slide here. Some of the key barriers related to the digital connectivity, entrepreneurship, and taxation also were quoted as one of the issues. But each of these, as you realize, becomes or represents a problem or issues or challenges in future. Let me just highlight to you the second one, as you see. Increasing digital transactions and digital cash requires overhauling regulations and increasing consumer comfort. Because Malaysia is, among others, very active in the use of cryptocurrency. And our colleague, Dr. Yazid, has recently written a book on this cryptocurrency law in Malaysia. Perhaps you should look at it, because Malaysia is quite active users of cryptocurrency. But now, of course, the problem is that, I mean, cryptocurrency is not treated like a normal, currencies, but rather as assets, which is subject to some, assessment of as security, as tax, and so on and so forth. So somehow, to many people, if these things are not made very clear, then this can be a barrier for people who to proceed with the digital transactions. Also, next is the next, as you see, there is ongoing tensions between data protection and its legitimate use for commercial purpose. As I said earlier, now the data, especially data of individuals, including personal data, transactional data, financial data, preferential data, behavioral data, yeah, location data, movement data, these are all personal data, because it involves it is related to individuals. Now the problem is people want to use this data, but we are not very sure the limitations, because it is also important that we have this data protection law to protect the rights of the consumers. But if the limitation is not made clear, then at the same time it will slow down the e-business and digital economy in Malaysia. Therefore, it's matter of making it clear to people. Awareness and education is always the bottom of the whole thing. And last but not least, here I'd like to share is lack of data sharing. Often cautiously produce security concern. Because of security, our information system is not very, very secure. Especially lately, we have seen news about data breach, hacking, intrusion, day in, day out. Either in individual or organizational system, or even the government system. So you see, it is as if there is no law. Actually, we do have law, so we want to know what is wrong. Perhaps some amendment is required, or maybe in terms of enforcement. I think this is for us to really ponder. As you go further, the other side of digital commerce, it will show to us, some problems, involving the criminal activities, cyber frauds. These are the things that will slow down either the e-business players as well as the consumers. Some people would never go to use online banking because they never believe, they never trust. There is a security in this online banking system. So this can be an issue, because if there is no trust, then no way people will continue, doing transactions and so on. So it is not all clear at the moment, but as a matter of fact, now we still see problems, doubts, among people. This is one example of how simple, the problem can arise. Some people are so tricked, easily tricked to buy things online, but then instead of getting what they wanted, they get something else. So this guy was actually ordering a Samsung phone, but instead of getting Samsung, he got a batu lesung, or lesung batu. Okay, so Samsung and lesung maybe not very far, from just how it sounds, but exactly it is really upset. When you expect to get a Samsung handphone, but then this is the real story. He actually these are two different stories when the person about online for mobile phones, but instead he got this delivery of batu lesung or lesung batu. So where is wrong? Now we have to see very clearly: is it the consumers are not aware of their of the risk, or is it really the sellers are very, very reckless, or not reckless, very malicious in the way they provide the service? So these things can both situation can happen. Both parties may contribute into this awkward and bad experience. This is happening in Malaysia. Now, I'd like to highlight to you before we go to the legal framework. Based on those overview of why we have this e-commerce, and then the dark side of it. Now, I picked from this international document called the OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development document, policy document on the principles of consumer protection in e-commerce. It was first issued in 1999, but then it was further revised and developed in 2016. Yeah, in 2016. So this is a new document. This is online. You can check the document online. So each of these represents a very distinctive issue relating to the e-commerce. So if you want to go on online commerce, start to sell to people. So these are things that need to be highlighted. Number one, there must be a transparent and effective protection, meaning this is at the government level. The government cannot cannot leave it to the market anymore. They have to take a very uh, clear direction how to protect consumers in online activities. Therefore, governments worldwide now start to legislate special laws to protect consumers online. In Malaysia, of course, we do not have a special consumer protection law for online activities, but as I will show you, it is like scattered in some laws and legislations, which is okay as far as they are complementary and can be, can fulfill the objectives, And what are the objectives? These can be considered as the objective. Number one, we need to have this transparent and effective protection. And then next, there must be a fair business, advertising, and marketing practices. This is so much part of the Consumer Protection Act 1999, right? That and also, I think there is one specific law on against the unfair advertising. Maybe Sales on of Goods Act. Maybe Prof. Mushera can add on later on and in future, and which law actually helps us in this issue. Next, also about fair online disclosure. If you remember, right, in the past, Malaysian government used to issue a statement that all people who sell things online, including those on social media, must put their real name and then real address and also the business registration number. So this made people quite taken aback because not all of them have business registration. They are just like me, just like you, students or lecturers, and happen to have something to sell, and then you just go online and create some account for business purpose, and then they were told to have a business registration number, which means that you have to go through all these procedures and so on. So, but in reality, it is not really enforced strictly, unless if it is related to a company website. Then yes, there is some regulation that the company must put a very clear name and identity of the company on their website. This is in line with this fair online disclosure. You need to disclose about yourself, about your business, about the goods and services, as well as about the transaction processes. For example, how people can place order, how do people pay, and so on. So this need to be very, very clear, or otherwise people will not choose to go to to have a transaction with you. And then some also there is this principle very specific.
Dr. Sonny,
Yes.
okay, I seek your permission to stop recording and start
All right.
recording again.
Okay, sure.
I don't want to miss any words. So.
Okay, please let me know once you are restarting.
Okay, I'll just stop